Today's topic is about being a freelancer, and I'll tell you something for nothing. There are trade-offs with every lifestyle, with every career. No matter how rich or poor I've been, depending on what job I've had, there's always going to be pluses and minuses. Being freelance, traveling the world, having a lot of amazing life experiences clearly has its ups, right? But it has a lot of downs too. So the question is, being a freelancer in the fitness industry, are you willing to deal with the suck parts of it? Because you're not going to experience the good bits. I'm Carl Ragavan, Europe's original starting strength coach. This is Beautiful Strength. Let's get into the show. Alright, so today this feels a bit more like a download from the weekend I just had. So, for those of you who don't know, I recently converted to an online coaching platform called EverFit. I was on True Coach for over 4 years, and at the time I guess True Coach was kind of the main go-to app. There wasn't really much happening, and then obviously this whole industry has exploded. So much stress and worry of change. And I guess you could say this about a lot of things that happen in people's lives. But this moment, leaving my house on a Monday evening, to put this into context, the whole of Sunday, I basically just worked, which is a change from 10-11 till 10-11 at night. I basically almost worked non-stop, making sure the new app, EverFit, had everything up to standard, so none of my clients felt like they were being shortchanged. Because if ever you're someone who's been around building your coaching app for clients, all the lifts and all the exercise selection and all the templates, they're shit. So you basically have to build everything from the ground up if you want it to look respectable and actually have some... almost killed myself. So almost got to build everything from the ground up if you actually want the app to be, of a decent standard. Doing randomly 10-11 hours of work on a Sunday to make sure your business is set up for the week, doing that randomly because you're pulling the plug on your previous platform, so you've got to reinstate and get everything up to scratch so your clients have a smooth transition. There's still bugs. That's what you have to do. When you're a freelancer, you're only counting on yourself, and if you're lucky you have a partner like mine who's also much better at computers than I am. But the back end work, I had to make a whole new exercise library, at least 60 videos with all the content that I thought might be useful for those lifts, personalized videos, and then I made individual workouts and then built programs, thanks to Caroline, and then we dropped those programs into each person's profile, and bish bash bosh, voila. So I feel like I've been in the Matrix. My brain has just been engulfed in the screen the whole day. And even today as I woke up, I was just waiting for something to go wrong and be on standby, even though I'm not fucking Apple support. I'm a strength coach at the end of the day, but needing a toolkit which is far reaching beyond what you got from whatever experienced mentor or shitty personal training qualification you got. Being successful at staying buoyant and staying alive for 2 decades, this is the kind of shit, time getting in the trenches, that you can't get other from just living this experience. I know more about Everfit from yesterday's 11 hours just by making mistakes. I even fucked up this morning trying to do something and I wiped most of their programming, and I just made that mistake and now I know. So there are things which you just aren't equipped for, which you've just got to learn the hard way. Being in the fitness industry, a generic path is to become a personal trainer and work for a global gym company like David Lloyd, Virgin, whoever, 24-hour gym, whatever those budget gyms are called. You work there, you pay some rent, and you basically just do some hours. They charge you rent, especially if you're in central London. They're charging an extortionate amount for you to work there every month. It's crazy. So you basically need to be living there 24/7. So, and from a help perspective, none of the trainers and coaches are going to help you in that style of coaching or personal training. You're just left out in the wilderness, and it's like, okay, fucking survive, sink or swim. Back when I was 18, didn't really know anything. I struggled to sell because you didn't learn how to sell. You, at the course that you did, back then mine was Premier Personal Training. At the first I thought it was a good course because it was like a 3-month or whatever it was module, which had nutrition, personal training and a bit of sports massage. I definitely had a few good teachers, like some of the sports massage teachers were physiotherapists and they were really good, but none of that course taught you how to sell and create a product and get out on the gym floor and actually sell yourself, which is kind of what surviving in personal training world is for most people, which is why they never survive. Then you've got other companies which are kind of privately owned personal training companies. You will be hired and you'll be paid minimum cost they can, and then you might get a little commission per client, and you get a whole diary of clients. So you may do 30 clients a week, but when you look at the rates of what you've earned in comparison to what you actually made the company, so say you did 30 clients a week and you're charging, or the company that you're hired by is charging 80 quid, you're not gonna be lucky to get half of that. You'll probably get 25-40% of that. But they kind of take that on because they're the brand that brought the clients to you on a silver platter. Yeah, you did the hours, but it's their clients at the end of the day. So that style is rubbish. And then you've got what I've been doing, which is freelancing. Like I said, for over a decade. That style is completely at your own pace, which means no one is under you, but every bill is chasing you, right? So you need to figure out a strategy to survive. And in a situation like yesterday, changing apps from TrueCoach to Everfit was a huge risk, right? Obviously I know companies like Renaissance Periodization use it, and obviously it's a big brand, but for me it was a lot of change and it was a lot of synchronization all in 24 hours. So with that process of change, there's a lot of stress, right? Even now I'm just thinking about stuff, right? So I can imagine how people stress about other jobs where you're leaving your house, or you're with your partner, or you're at the gym and you're thinking about your work. So again, back to the freelance model, right? Yes, you can start to have more creative control over how you coach clients. The struggles you face as a freelancer, it's a 24-hour thing. You have to be all things. You need to try and figure out how to be a good businessman, make good decisions. You need to still make time for all that other stuff in your life, your family and friends, plus your own training, if you want to make it realistic. And here's the thing. Last night, if anyone called me, I was dead to the world. So there isn't balance some of these days. When you have to just do 11 hours on a Sunday, there isn't any balance to that. It's completely infatuated, driven, focused work, right? It had to get done. I had a deadline. Everyone's program had to be set. Whereas when you work for someone else, when you have receptionists, when you have a team behind you to help promote the business, it's not the same. But with that comes the restrictions and the boundaries of being stuck in that box. And to be honest, for a lot of people, it's very difficult to find what it is they want to do. I've always been very lucky that I kind of know what it is I want to do. And like, if I see a shirt and I like it, I'm not going home to think about it. I'm buying it there. As long as I got the money. Sometimes when I don't have the money, that's another story. But a lot of people struggle to actually find that niche because they actually don't even know what they want. Listen to me. If you don't want to live in the gym and deal with people, do small talk, make chit chat about how was your weekend, you don't want to be a personal trainer. This is coming from someone who's done it for pretty much my whole life. You don't want to be a personal trainer. But then again, being an online coach, being behind a screen, having to deal with uploading new platforms when you change, spending 11-12 hours of a peak beautiful Sunday in your house, or just not speaking to anyone in the outside world because you have 100 online clients, that also is a bit of a dark place too. So be careful what you wish for, thinking you want to be a busy, popular online coach, because that's kind of shit too. So I guess what I'm trying to say is there are going to be moments where you need to cut your teeth and you have to dive in and do this awful amount of experience and just bury your head in the sand and get the hours, right? You got to clock the hours in, otherwise you're not going to be able to build any sort of style because you have no experience, right? You got to keep your weight time under the bar. You got to be coaching. You got to be constantly trying to improve your knowledge, right? That takes years, that takes decades. What kind of lifestyle appeals to you? That's also a preference too. There's great value in having a boss that has to sit at home and stress about all those things, and you just get to leave whatever your shift is, 9 to 5 or 6 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon. That was one of my shifts. There's some value in being that kind of person where you get to clock in your hours, get your experience, but you get all your free time, because when you leave the gym or leave your workplace, you don't have to think about one more thing about your business, or how to grow or stay successful, or be careful of the churn, because clients, times come and go. So all of that, you don't have to worry about it. If you have a lot of things going on at home, right? if one of your parents is sick and you have to look after them, if you have a lot of kids, a lot of mouths to feed, you can't just take irrational decisions and everyone's on board and cool with it. So everyone has got their own unique set of situations that then make you realize, maybe that would be a stupid move, or maybe I need to focus on this. But then there's some people who can just commit to being freelance full time and survive. So back to my point, being a freelancer, you don't want this life. Very few people want to suffer and deal with all the things that suck being a freelance, to enjoy those sweet notes of Instagram delight that you see me highlight, or any other famous person on Instagram posting how amazing freelancing is. It's not that. You're gonna be in trouble if you think it is.